Yeah.
Hello and welcome to another video tutorial on A-Level Maths Dummified. Today we are going to be starting a new series on sketching graphs of quadratic equations. So this video is going to be split up into different parts. So in this first part I would just want to introduce you to the 4 different types of shapes of quadratic functions that you will often get. So you should be aware at this point that a quadratic function shape is called a parabola. So all of these graphs that I have here, these are parabolas. So this is the general shape of a quadratic function. The 4 different types of parabolas that you have. As you can see in the first one, this parabola, it's not touching the x-axis whatsoever. It's not touching the x-axis. But every single parabola that you have will always intersect the y-axis. It will always intersect the y-axis, but some parabolas will not necessarily intersect the x-axis. Like this one, it's above the x-axis, it's positive everywhere. Of course, these are negative x values, but in terms of the y values, it doesn't have any negative y values, which means that this function is always positive. It lies above the x-axis, it doesn't touch the x-axis. This is the second shape, and in this case, and the other thing to notice about this shape is that it has a minimum point. It has a minimum point. One way to think about it is this graph is smiling. It has a smiley face. This graph as well, it has a smiley face, but the difference between this one and this one is this one actually does cut the x-axis, and some values of the graph are negative because it's below the x-axis. This one is a different shape altogether. It has a sad face, completely opposite to these two, and this one, it does cut the x-axis. Finally, the last shape, sad face again, but the difference is this one doesn't cut the x-axis at all. The entire graph lies below the x-axis. So these are the 4 different shapes of parabolas that you can have. So a simple way to remember these things, because you need to be able to sketch quadratic functions given a particular equation. So the important thing to realize is there are 2 types, ones that are smiling, ones that are sad. The smiley ones are these ones, the sad ones are these last 2, as you can see the sad face there. Some of them will intersect the x-axis, like these 2. Some of them won't intersect the x-axis, like these 2. If it doesn't intersect the x-axis, it either lies above the x-axis like this one or below the x-axis like this one. So this was just a quick video to show you the 4 different types of parabolic shapes that you can get. In the next videos, we're actually going to discuss how you can sketch these graphs, because given a particular equation, you need to be able to sketch the graph of a quadratic equation. You need to be able to do that. It's a simple process. But before anything else, you do need to understand that these are the 4 basic shapes that you will get for parabolas, and all of them intersect the y-axis at some point. So this was the first video on parabolas, and until next time, take care.
Yeah. That's when they smile in my face. Whole time they wanna take my place. Whole time they wanna take my place. Whole time they wanna take my place.